we're going to go over how to use the join function for joining data. Now, before we get to this, I'd like you to do something. I'd like you, if you've been following along, to break the connection between remove duplicates and append for now. We will put that in 1 second. I'd like you to go to Utility, select Column, drag the little circle to the little triangle, and we're going to do this. I'd like you to call this first one, the top left table. And I'd like you to pull in a couple things for me. I'd like you to pull in date, ID, and country. Let's just do those. Okay. I'd like you to do it again. Go grab another one, put it right on the bottom. And again, little circle, the little triangle. We're going to call this one right table. I'd like you again to go get date, portfolio. Actually, let's do ID again. Portfolio company, and let's go grab impressions. Let's say that's it. That's all I care about. Okay, so we have two tables. We have one that has ID, date, ID, country. We have another one that says date, ID, the name, and impressions. Now, if we append these two things and we just put them on top of each other, it's not really going to work because date and ID are the only columns that happen to be the same. But what if I need the data to be right next to each other? I want to be one complete table where I can see date, ID, portfolio company, impressions, country, whatever. So now we're going to join data. We're going to go grab that join, connect little circle to little triangle right here. And we're going to pick left. So I can see that my left table is on the left side, my right table is on the right side. If I don't want this way, I want to flip it, I just pick one. It auto flips. Don't worry about that. Make it easy on yourself. Just put it the way it is. Okay. So remember, the left join says keep everything on the left table, delete on the right table if there is no appropriate match. So we're going to go here. We're going to go to ID. I want you to join on ID with ID. They have to be the same. If one is an ID that's a number, the other one is ID that's a text, it's not going to work. They have to be exactly the same. The name of the columns doesn't have to be the same, but the format has to be the same. You're going to hit auto fix right. So all we're saying is hey, combine these two tables based on the word ID. And remember, in our left table, we only have date, ID, country. Our right table, we happen to have date, ID, portfolio company, and impressions. Let's hit run preview, see what happens. Okay, let's go to join data. Now if I hit run preview or hit preview, look at that. I have ID, country, right table. I have the date because it exists in both. We will go over that in 1 minute. And now I have my portfolio companies. Here I see company A for all the 001 IDs. And I'm sure if I did a bigger preview, you'd see 002, company B, etc. All these things. Okay, that's good, but is it really helpful? Well, look at this. I have November 13th, 2023, and it shows up multiple times. That's because this is called a one-to-many join. A little bit advanced, but what this means is that wasn't unique enough. I have too few connections, too few joins that I'm looking to do. So I'm going to go back to configuration. I think about this as like Spider-Man's web, just whoosh, whoosh. I need more things to connect it so I can really pull it through. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, hey, I want to join on ID. But you know what I also want to join on? Date, because I have the date in both. That's kind of all I have. Now, here, if I go down, you saw that we had that rename to right table 1. It's because the date column exists in both, and the ID one exists in both tables. So you can't have two columns named exactly the same thing. So Domo suggests, hey, do you want to drop one? Do you want to rename one? Up to you. Usually, if I don't need it, I'll just drop it. But up to you. Let's hit run preview. Okay, so now if I go here, I hit preview. We go up top. Look at that. I have fewer columns that I don't need, and I have only one date. And there we go. Now I have my IDs, the country I was looking for, the company name, and the number of impressions. So that's how the join works. We didn't get rid of anything on the left table. Okay, we could totally do an inner join if you wanted to. It's going to be exactly the same though, because in this instance, both tables have the same dates and the same IDs. So that's how it works. But you know what? I'll show you an example just so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to go to filter, I'm going to drag that one in here. I'm going to break this connection. I'm going to move this over a little bit. You don't have to do this. This is just to show you an example. I'm going to connect that. And I'm going to change this one. I'm going to say I want where the date is equals specific value. I'm going to pick November 13th. That was what I saw. Okay, so now if I hit run preview, let's see what happens. I only have one line because I use that filter of November 13th, 2023. So only one line in here, right? So now if we do the join, remember, keep everything in the left table and delete anything in the right table where it doesn't match, which this is just one line right now. If I hit preview, the impressions and portfolio company are only going to show because we matched on both the date and ID. So it's only going to show for one. Makes sense? But everything in the left table stays because these are all the rows that were in the left table. What if I flip it? If I go to configuration and I say make it a right join, let's run it. Okay, go to join. I only got one row because we keep everything in the right table and we dismiss anything on the left table where it doesn't exist. Okay, cool. We figured some stuff out. Now, though, what if I did an inner join? Well, an inner join is saying only show me where they're the same. In this use case, it's going to be exactly the same as a right join because there's only one row here. That's how it's going to work. But the joins are ways that we can compress and that we can move data to be right next to each other on the left and right sides. So it becomes easier for us to consolidate and put it together. Anyway, that is how to do joins. That's an intro to it. The more you do it, I promise you, the more it will make sense to you. But the more you do it, the better you'll be at it and the faster you'll be able to move.